welcome to That Computer Is Your Mom, a Jim and the Holograms podcast. This is Allie.
And Josh.
And today we watched Season 1, Episode 8, Starbright Part 3, Rising Star. Josh is nodding like, yep, that's what we did.
That is what we watched.
So, no one says Rising Star in this, but...
No.
Yeah, okay. So, this episode. Alright.
You didn't like it?
You know, the weird mechanics of the movie business as portrayed by Jim and the Holograms, as I said the last time, I think is, like, not their strong suit.
No.
Alright, so... let's just get it out there, because I feel like we need to we're like 3 episodes away from an episode where Jim and the Misfits challenge each other to a skiing contest for no reason. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's gonna be great. We just have to get there.
This one had its moments.
It did have its moments, that's true. Okay, so in the recap, Bonnie needs an eyeball operation.
Mm-hmm.
It's very expensive. No one has heard of insurance.
It costs $250,000.
$250,000 in, like, 1986 money, too.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Now you're just like, oh, it's like a house.
Yeah.
But...
It's like a house on her eyes.
It's a house for her eyeballs. So, where we left off the last time was Roxy had turned on the explosions for the movie, and Kimber was sort of in the path of the explosions when she shouldn't have been.
Sure.
And she was like, help me! And Cod was like, oh!
Was Cod the bad one, the actor, or the stunt guy? It was Cod and Greg, right?
Right.
Not that either of those are their actual names. I mean, Cod is no one's name.
Isn't that like a fish?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fish's name.
It's a type of fish.
Yeah, even the fish, it's the species name. It's probably not like individual fishes' names.
So Cod, whose actual name is Nick.
Sure.
And Greg, whose actual name is... It's Jeff. It's Jeff.
Sure. He's the stunt guy.
Sure. So, what happens is, Cod is unable or unwilling to help Kimber. What happens next?
Jeff or Greg.
Just keep calling him Greg.
Okay, Greg puts on his motorcycle helmet and he drives into the middle of the explosions to rescue Kimber, and it's animated real weird. Looks kind of like Speed Racer.
It does look like Speed Racer. And he saves her.
He grabs her up, but then they like fall off of the motorcycle, either due to his bad motorcycling or because there's explosions going on all around. Mm-hmm. And the motorcycle explodes for no obvious reason.
That's right. That was amazing.
That was one of the highlights of the episode.
It's like, whoa, why did that happen?
It was one of the more gratuitous explosions. And then he carries her, damsel in distress style, the rest of the way to safety.
To see a nurse.
where he like carries her a ways, and you're like, okay, they're out of danger, and he's like, no, I'm gonna carry her some more. There's a lot of carrying her on his part.
That's how he makes her fall in love with him.
Yes.
It
is.
Is through carrying. Well, and he also
is he gonna be back in
life.
subsequent episodes though?
I don't know. The guy that Shayna was like into is around.
He's around, but they're not like an item, or if they are, it's not mentioned.
I think
He is directing the movie. Well, oh wait, that is still to come. Sorry.
All right, and so Roxy's like, "Damn, don't tell him it was me."
Yeah.
And Aja like slams a helmet into Cod's gut and is like, "Stick your fat head in that, you hero." And like, in his defense, he's not a stunt person.
Yeah.
And she wasn't doing Kimber wasn't doing too good. I don't know why he would have done any better. He didn't have a motorcycle and is not a stunt person.
No.
But everyone's...
So, like, Aja didn't do it either.
No, but she's mad, so she throws a heavy item at a man. Because misandry.
Yeah, that is misandry. She's like that fish that jumps out of the water and hits the guy in the face.
Uh-huh. And then it says misandry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so... Jerrica says to Aja and Shayna, "Cover for me," which they do by just sort of moving closer together. And then Jerrica turns into Jem, and she comes back around and starts yelling at everybody.
Yeah.
What does she say?
What does she say?
She's like, "Fuck all you guys, I'm leaving again.
That's right.
This is bullshit."
She quits for real.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, and then I guess we cut to... Oh, Rio's like, "I am gonna kill you."
Yeah, he grabs Eric by the lapels.
Yeah.
He's threatening him, and he pushes him down on the ground.
Yeah.
It's pretty violent.
Yeah. And then we cut to the nurse's office, where she's like...
Getting busy. No?
I don't think they were getting busy.
Okay. Well, they're kissing anyway.
Well, at first, Kimber's like, "Oh, Greg, I was so mean to you. I don't even know why you saved my life." And it's just like, listen, being mean to a person is, like, number one, you were not really mean to him. You were just like, "I'm not into it." Which is not, let me just explain to every guy on the internet, that's not being mean, okay? Just, like, not being into it, you're allowed to do that. That's
she
not
went a little
meanness.
further than not being into it. She was more like, I refuse to talk to you.
Well, she's allowed to do that.
They work together.
Well, it's not a death sentence, though. Like...
No, it's not a death sentence.
It's like, I have to be super nice to every man around me, or else, like, I should die.
No, but you can understand why she would feel bad about her earlier behavior.
Alright, fair enough. The way she phrased it, though, was
She does phrase
strange.
it as being surprised that he saved her life, given her earlier rudeness, which is a little extreme.
Yeah, that's a little much. And he's like, I love you, Kimber.
Does he say that?
He says, "I would drive through fire for you."
Oh, yeah.
And then he starts singing about the Ring of Fire.
What?
He's like, "I fell into..."
No, that's Johnny Cash.
Ring of Fire.
That's not...
It burned.
No, you're right. That happened. That did happen in this episode. That's where Johnny Cash got it, I think, actually.
Yeah, he went forward
he got it from
in
Jim
time
and the Holograms.
and stole it from Jim and the Holograms. And then Johnny Cash was there, and they did a video together.
It would have been a lot better than that one about people who care.
There were two Jim songs and one Misfits song.
The Misfits song was a highlight.
As per usual. Okay.
Although...
Go ahead.
Well, it's called Beast in the Jungle, is that right?
No, it's called Welcome to the Jungle.
Welcome to the Jungle.
Just like the Guns N' Roses song. And I'm like, they stole that from Jim.
Yeah. Anytime that you have a thing that has jungle in the title and it's made by white people, you know it's going to be kind of racist, and this is no exception.
Yeah. It is a little bit like Katy Perry's Roar video.
Yeah. Isn't there a Taylor Swift video that's like set in Africa as well?
I saw people talking about it, but I haven't seen the video. So
just stop doing it, white people. Just stop.
I mean, I think that's just a good general rule.
There's
like white people.
There's other things you can make things about.
Yeah, white people stop white peopling. And yeah, no, what you said, definitely. We'll get back to that song because we're not quite there yet. Okay, so they're like, well, basically what they're gonna do is they're gonna make their own movie.
Jim and the Holograms are.
Yes, they're off the Misfits movie. They're gonna make their own movie, and they're still gonna call it Starbright.
And like 3/4 of the crew of the old movie quit and joined them for no pay.
Yeah, and here's the thing. For all that they're like, oh, the unions, which, once again, the unions are like a huge plot point
It's true.
in this episode. You are not allowed to work for no pay.
Right?
That is not a thing if you're in a union. Like, that's why pay scale. Like, you know, if you make scale. Am I saying that word right? Like, there's a pay scale.
Yeah.
Where there's, like, a bottom number that, like, you have to make that number depending on, like, what your position is.
Right.
And, like, you can get more, but you can't get less. And you can't just be like, we're gonna work on this thing. Not, like, for a movie. Like, I mean, you could, like, do, I guess, like, a video of your kid's birthday party or something. But, like, this is a commercial production, so...
Yeah. They're trying to make money, and they do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess
that's a huge plot point, is that they're like, everyone's working for free, and if you don't want to work for free, then you're selfish.
Yeah, it's kind of the weird, like, paradox that is kind of, like, at the heart of Jim as a show, right?
Yeah.
Is that it is about these completely commercial fields, and they're doing, like, commercial-sounding music, right? Like, it's supposed to be popular music, and they're supposed to be, like, popular movies. But everything's like, if you're doing it for money, you're wrong. Even though these are genres that nobody does for anything other than money, really. Right.
And that, like, everyone's just, like, the question of how is a person supposed to live is completely, like, obliterated. Because, like, everyone's just like, here, take my mansion.
Well, yeah, you get a Hollywood producer to give you a spare mansion. Mm-hmm. And then...
And you're also, like, you already own a record studio?
Sure.
Because you're rich? This is not... Okay. It's just very strange. So it's
That's
sort of...
That's what self-starters do, though.
It's trying to impart, I guess, lessons about sharing to kids, but it's doing it in a
to
very...
kids who own record studios.
It's doing it in a very strange way. Okay, so Jem and the Holograms are gonna make their own movie. Blee Blee, everyone's like gonna work for them for free, and that's when we get the first song where they're like, we're putting it all together.
Oh. Not a good song.
What did you not like about it?
The words and the images that accompanied them.
Can you describe the images?
Boring.
Anything more than that?
No.
Do you remember them very well?
No.
You just left with it.
It was 15 minutes ago.
So that tells you about how like interesting they were. It's still on, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was about 15 minutes ago.
There's this one bit where it looks like Jim's kind of doing the Running Man. And she's like sort of weirdly walking in place, and then she does like her arms and legs in sort of an X pose, and then all the like holograms come out from nowhere.
Oh yeah. That was a weird image.
I thought it was weird, and they really liked it because they used it like several times.
Mm-hmm. They used it with a different song.
They did. So yeah, it's just basically like they're gonna do this movie because they're putting it all together. Yeah. And then
really, other people are putting it together for them to a large extent.
Yeah. Oh God! After they quit the movie, is it after they quit the movie that Jarek is like reading Alice in Wonderland to Bonnie?
Oh yeah.
And we get more of Bonnie's like failing vision cam.
Mm-hmm. That's a good cam.
Mm-hmm. And
she's reading her about the Cheshire Cat vanishing from one point to another, and so I don't know. It's about seeing things, so
also
irony, I guess.
Yeah. Something you can
or not.
In the public domain, so you can read it.
That's true.
And she leaves, and then Aja, who is wearing this like amazing outfit, like her hair's all kind of going everywhere, and she's got that beret on that she likes, and it's like this white oversized blazer that's huge, and it has like crazy triangles all over it, and a belt. And it's belted down real tight around her waist, and it's like poofed up everywhere else. Made an impression. And
I have no memory of this.
And I just says to Jerica, "Did you tell her?"
Yeah.
And Jerica's like, "Nope."
Because at that point they had no means of payment. That's before they decided they were going to... Or that's before they formulated the making the movie thing, right? Mm-hmm. And so, it's just like, nah. I couldn't.
And so,
I'm just gonna let her figure it out when she goes blind. Oh, and we don't help her.
Oh, poor Bonnie. Okay, so, it's kind of like I don't know. I mean, you kind of figure they had to, like, quit the movie because, like, this is the second person on their, like, team that almost died.
That's true.
But on the other hand, like, you know, he really didn't think it through. But anyway, so they're doing this movie, and I think we go back to the Misfits, right?
Yeah, it kind of cuts between them successfully making the movie with all of the people who quit the Misfits movie, and the Misfits messing everything up and alienating the crew and calling for more expensive script rewrites and changes to scenes and set dressings and so on.
I think this is where they turn Clash into a spy.
Well, they call her a spy. Really more of a saboteur.
And a thief.
Yeah.
But they're like, So the lady, who we learn in this episode's name is Georgia, who was all like, Jim's a stuck-up bitch.
Mm-hmm. She's a makeup artist.
She's the makeup artist. And they're like, turn Clash into somebody else.
Yeah.
And she does by turning her into a, like... Because Clash has this huge, like, mop of, like, pink and different colored hair and the weird rat tail and the whole shebang. And so she...
And symbol bracelets.
And symbol bracelets, which are very important. She turns
and face paint.
And the face paint. Turns her into a blonde lady.
Generic blonde lady.
And, so...
Without symbol bracelets.
Right. So nobody knows who she is.
You could have just taken those away. And I think people wouldn't have recognized her anymore.
Taken off what is clearly a wig.
Yeah, that's really what happened, isn't it? They, like, took the makeup she was wearing on her face off and took off the wig, and she was probably blonde underneath that.
Yeah. And then, like, had her put on, like, a not enormous, giant, shaggy green vest.
Although, I mean, we see... What's the makeup artist's name?
Georgia.
We see Georgia, like, doing her hair.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think we're supposed to understand that is just, like, what the character's hair is like? That it's, like, huge and crazily colored? And that's just, like, what their hair is?
It might be. I mean, they all have, like, weird, like, not... usual hair colors, so...
And it's like... They're never out of these hairstyles. It's not like when they go home... It's not giant and colored.
It's true. Well, they never take off their makeup
Yeah,
either.
they're not... Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, maybe it's like when we were watching Tim Burton's Batman and the Joker has to put, like, pink skin tone on over his, like, new Joker face.
Yeah.
So maybe she had to put, like, neutral peach tones over her, like, actual skin.
Which is
makeup colored?
Yeah.
I'm confused now.
I think so, because she doesn't have any help when she takes off her disguise.
Mm-hmm. And it's right back to the same...
Yeah, it's back to the way she looked before.
Mm-hmm. She really likes that big-ass, shaggy, green vest thing.
It's her look.
It is her look. So, what are the, like, can we describe some of the things, like, that the Misfits are doing? Like...
They order orangutans.
Uh-huh. And lions and shit.
And lions. I thought maybe the original script called for lions, but Eric Raymond was like, orangutans, this is too far. But maybe it's all... No indication is ever given. Now that this plot is over, I think we can definitively say what this movie was about or how the different pieces fit together.
In any way?
No. Clearly there's part of it that is set in Africa because there's all sorts of, like, African animals. And there's a motorcycle explosion scene of some kind.
Mm-hmm. There was, like, Errol Flynn-style fencing and stuff.
Yeah, there's fencing. There's some sort of, like, suburban living room scene where they object to the decor.
The set dressing.
And they start ripping down the curtains and throwing the pillows around.
Yeah, that was a good part. I like that part.
That was pretty good.
And Roxy's like, fuck this, and starts tearing stuff off the wall.
Yeah.
And even Stormer's like, this is not good, and starts throwing things away.
There's that solar system set.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine The only thing that you could do with something like that is you know, have you seen the Monty Python, and Now for Something Completely Different?
Yeah, it might have been that.
If it was, individual sketch scenes that weren't supposed to have to go together.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe it was just, a series of music videos.
You know what I want to watch? I want to see... The Monkees made this movie called Head that's supposed to be deeply weird and completely ridiculous and insane.
Okay.
And everyone says it's terrible.
I'm sure.
And I think the actual actors were no, we're gonna make this movie, and it was all about psychedelics and stuff, and it sounds like it sounds like it's probably pretty bad. So I think we should watch that.
Okay.
But I think it's probably the Misfits movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Pizzazz keeps screaming at people. And this is where they do their Welcome to the Jungle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little jarring now that the Guns N' Roses Welcome to the Jungle is a thing.
Yeah.
Because they're not anything like each other. I was always waiting for Pizzazz to be you're gonna die!
It's mostly her stalking Cod on all fours and acting like an animal.
Yeah, and she's I'm gonna get my claws out.
Yeah.
And kill you.
But the best part is her writhing arrhythmically. While casting a big shadow by firelight.
There's no way to describe what this image looks like. It is strictly a visual thing, but it is so funny.
It looks like there's maybe some frames missing from the animation or something.
It looks like a demon.
Yeah.
But a demon who has had way too much coffee. Just really going at it. But yeah, and then you go down and she's dancing super weirdly.
Really weird.
And they show that part 2 or 3 times, and every time we were cracking up.
They knew that was the strongest part. They kept going back to it.
Yeah. And yeah, that's what happens. And then at the end she jumps into Cod's arms.
Mm-hmm.
And then he backs up
mm-hmm.
and almost puts his butt in a lion's face.
Mm-hmm.
And he's oh!
Mm-hmm. And he dumps her in the water.
Yeah. What does she do then?
Makes that screaming noise, that shrieking noise, that... There's some really strange sounding cat activity going on.
Alright, I'm gonna pause it.
Okay.
So, she's screaming.
Yeah. And she accuses him of cowardice.
Because he's scared of the lion.
Which could well kill him.
Right. Because it's just sort of sitting there.
Yeah.
And
There's no obvious animal handlers anywhere on the set.
No. It really is like Katy Perry's Roar.
In what way?
In that all the animals are just kind of chilling.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true.
Let's see. And Cod's like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yep, he leaves.
And,
He's going over to the gem movie.
he does. Oh! Boo!
Mm-hmm.
This is the best part, though. This is the best part.
I thought the writhing part was the best.
It is, but this is also the best part is when Rio's like, I'm the lead. My name is Johnny Starr. And Jim teaches me how to share.
That made me sad.
Tell me more. Why?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. Seems like he should have learned that earlier.
He's wearing a sleeveless top with like a lightning bolt on it.
Yeah. He looks like an extra from the Warriors.
He does, yeah. He can come out to play, yay.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I just thought that was so funny. And then Jim teaches him how to share. And, oh god, the cats are really... Man, they did this the last time, too. Okay, so Cod shows up.
Yep.
What does he do?
He offers to work on the movie for half of his usual pay. And Rio thinks that she's into this idea.
And he's real mad.
And he's mad, and he's about to have a little fit and storm off the set like a big baby who can't share.
Because he didn't learn how to share.
He forgot. Jim didn't teach him right.
Well, he sure is sharing his tongue wrestling between Jerrica and Jem.
Well, that's not really fair, is it?
He doesn't know that they're not the same person.
Well, they're both like... I don't know.
Well, Jerrica's like, isn't Jem the best? Go make out with Jem.
Exactly.
And Jem's like, I am the best. Make out with me.
Yeah.
Jem is never like, oh, what about Jerrica? Like, she does not give a fuck.
Yeah, it's weird. Maybe Jem is the id.
Yeah.
And Jerrica is the ego.
What's the difference again?
The id just does what it wants, and the ego acts according to the reality principle. It, like, takes into consideration what you have to do.
Okay. So, Cod is there.
Yeah, he's there.
And Rio's mad.
Yeah.
What happens?
Jem says she will let him Cod take a bit part in the movie, thereby insulting him, and also tells him that he has to work not for half of his normal pay, but for no pay at all, like everybody else. Once again, everybody is working for no pay.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
And this is like presented as like a really good thing.
Yeah.
Because Cod says, I don't work for free. And everyone's like, you dillhole.
Yeah, they think he's a real asshole for not working for free.
And he leaves because what the fuck would he work for free?
It's an excellent question. It actually does seem really generous. Can you imagine if someone who was an A-list actor, which is what he's supposed to be...
He's supposed to be like, I don't know, like Chris Evans or...
Yeah, if they said that they would take like half pay to work on like a movie, and then the funds would go to charity, everybody would think that he was the best person ever.
Yeah, they would be like, oh my god.
They would anoint his pecs with oil if it was Chris Evans. Like more so than they already do.
They could auction off like the peck anointer.
Yeah,
position
actually, probably
for charity.
That's a bad example, since people would do that anyway.
There's a line. At any rate, so he storms off.
Yeah, there's a lot of storming off in this episode, or attempted storming off.
Right. And then, is this the part where
Ashley is also working for no pay.
Ashley is also working for no pay with the, I guess they call it the clapper. She has the board that you clap down
at the start of the scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and when they wrap the movie, it really looks like Ashley's making out with another girl.
Yeah.
And I was like, get it, girl.
It does look like that.
It's Ashley's first kiss.
Is
it didn't look like it was. Get it, Ashley? You're the man. So I'm sure that's probably not what was intended.
I'll have to go back and see what that was.
But in my head, Ashley is like totally making out with girls because...
Didn't you say you thought she was gay earlier?
I did, because I do.
Well, maybe that is what was intended. I don't know.
Maybe.
Just slip that in there.
Or maybe it was just like overlooked.
Maybe that was intended by somebody, and everybody else was just like, I don't know why this is here, but I'm not going to do anything about it.
Maybe so. Okay.
Maybe somebody was just drawing kind of gender ambiguous characters.
I think it's good stuff. They should do that more. So we're back to the Misfits movie. And they have to, like, stop, I guess.
Right. Representatives of no less than 5 unions show
No, that's
up.
the end. Oh, okay, we skipped a part.
What?
The part where Clash shows up.
Ugh.
Because that happens before the union thing happens.
Yeah.
So Clash shows up. They tell her to go spy. But what she does in reality is just steal an unreal amount of shit and put it in a car where it seems like that all that stuff would not fit. But it's a TARDIS car, let's just say. It's bigger on the inside.
Okay.
How does she get in? Do you remember?
She says that she's a friend of Jem's, and the person at the door lets her go by with that.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly a closed set.
No. And, Pizzazz had been mean to Georgia, the makeup lady.
Mm-hmm.
So she defected over, I think about the same time that the set dresser also quit. She defected to the gym production.
Yep.
And she was like, everyone has to apologize to Jem and be absolved.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes to Jem and she's like, I'm so sorry. I listened to the Misfits and I should have thought for myself. And I said mean things about you. And Jem, because she is the best person, she is our rock messiah. She forgives her.
She should have thought for herself by revering Jem.
Yeah, that's clearly what is called for in this situation.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
No. I think if you can hear weird noises, there might be a snowball fight going on outside, so we're just gonna keep going.
You're still dealing with the aftermath of Snowpocalypse.
Yeah. So everyone starts to notice that their stuff is missing.
Yeah.
At this point. And then what happens?
Georgia points out that it was Clash, and then they chase after her in the car.
Yeah, this is the chase scene.
Yeah, there's like often a chase scene in an otherwise chase scene scenario, or chase-free scenario.
Jim yells, "Get the roadster."
Yeah. They track her down. They use a hologram. The only hologram that's used in the episode, apart from, looking like Jim, to make it look like there's a tree blocking the road, and it makes Clash stop, and then they trap her.
Right.
Get their stuff back.
And she runs away.
Yeah.
And, she goes back to the Misfits, and there's the tape from the last episode that Greg is like, "I'm going to take this to the Union."
And he does.
Yeah, and then we're back with the
Okay.
Misfits movie, and as you said, as the Union representatives are showing up.
So they shut the movie down.
Mm-hmm. And Pizzazz is like, what did she do? Do you remember?
Isn't she just like, fine, this is too much work anyway.
Yes.
We'll just finish it in post-production.
She's like, you have, and I think Stormer's like, you have enough film.
That's probably how several movies have gone. And they're just like, that's enough.
And so they do put it together in post-production.
Apparently. I mean, we don't really see what either of these movies look like in any way.
There's another, Gem song, but do you remember what that one is? Is that one about sharing?
It's the one about people who care.
Oh, fuck. That one is terrible.
Really? I thought the other one was worse.
No, I thought People Who Care was the worst.
It's very schmaltzy.
It's like People Who Care. This is the last, I guess, scene before that it's in the movie, or it doesn't matter. But they're like, people that care are rare, but I know one or two, me and you. Kind of goes like that.
Oh, I had forgotten that.
And it's like, you can see, and then they're always going over to Bonnie, see?
Yeah.
She can see, and then...
She can see because people care.
Yeah, and then, in the, sort of, during this montage, they're, montaging that they're gonna get her operation.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Is this the point at which they sign the very unusual medical contract?
yes, and after this song, they take Bunny to, I guess, the hospital, and she goes back, and then the doctor, because it would not be a doctor that this would happen with, and also, they do not extend your ass credit. That is not how that happens. But I guess what happens is, they have signed some sort of promissory note putting the deed to the Starbright Mansion, or Starlight Mansion, up against Bonnie's operation costs so that she could get the operation. That is not how anything works. It's not how promissory notes work. It's not how deeds work. It's not how real estate works, or hospitals, or doctors.
Maybe they've made some sort of special arrangement with the doctor himself. Who's like, yeah, I could go for that mansion.
I mean, you could take...
you know what? I will allow this.
What you would do in reality life is you would put a mortgage on your house, get the money, and then do a thing.
So bored.
I know.
Just make a deal with the doctor.
I don't understand why this part is even in there. Because it's
That's always the weird thing with this show, is that it will go into the mechanics of the thing more than you would imagine, but it's still totally disconnected from reality. Most children's shows would not even mention unions.
Or deeds.
And it does, but then it just, it's totally crazy. It's not any less crazy than any other, child's idea of what adults do. But for some reason, I don't know.
There's a thing in I know you haven't seen the Goonies, but there's a thing in the Goonies where, like, the reason where you, like,
I saw the Goonies.
You, like, don't tell people that.
I did see it. I just don't remember.
Okay. Alright, well, fair enough. Don't say anything to Josh about the Goonies.
What?
It's like, some people are really attached to the Goonies, and if you say you haven't seen it, they might be like, why?
I did see it. I just forgot.
Oh, okay. Well, were you, like, drunk or something?
Yeah.
So, at any rate, there's a thing at the beginning of the Goonies where it's like everyone's gonna lose their house unless they have money.
Sure.
They don't really say why or, like, how that works or anything. It's just like, need money or no house.
That's all you really need.
Yeah, you don't have to be like, here's this note I signed for this deed that you have to pay me, or, like, you'll lose your house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The whole thing's, at any rate, it is weird. So, it's like she took out a title loan, only instead of putting up her car, she put up the mansion. So anyway, let's see. Bonnie does get her operation.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they're like, if we make money off of this gem movie, then it'll be fine, and we'll, like, be able to keep the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
What happens next?
Is the premiere?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So for some reason, both the Gem movie and the Misfits movie premiere on the same night and across the street from one another.
Yeah.
And Gem and the Holograms are, like, stationed above the movie theater for some reason. They're, like, out on a balcony above the movie theater.
You're, like, watching
What's going on. And initially a bunch of people go to the Misfits movie. But then, after the first showing, the people come out and they describe it as a ripoff and it's terrible.
And Pizzazz is there.
Yeah, all of the Misfits are there.
Yeah. But Pizzazz, like, screams at people.
Yeah, she calls them traitors.
Because they start running to go see the Gem movie.
They all line up for the Gem movie.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody likes the Gem movie.
Yeah.
Because, of course, they do.
And they say that it was outrageous.
They do say that it was outrageous. And they mean it as a positive thing.
Yeah.
They're not, like, outraged by it.
No. And,
They're not like, not since Last Tango in Paris have I seen such an obscene film.
Oh, dear.
It's not like that.
It is not like that. And let's see.
I don't know. Were people upset by Last Tango in Paris?
I believe so.
Okay.
I mean, that's what you hear.
Yeah.
So, then, yeah, this dude gives Jerica a check
for exactly $250,000, which is, again, the cost of Bonnie's eye surgery.
Yep. So, then she is gonna have a special screening.
That's right.
With Bonnie.
And the other orphans.
Mm-hmm.
Is Ashley there? I forget.
She's really favoring Bonnie.
Yeah.
Although, like...
We're done with Ashley?
Yeah. Granted, Bonnie is having eyeball surgery, so... I mean, you really have to, like, have something seriously be wrong with you to get Jerica's attention.
Yeah, she's not getting it otherwise.
No. So, and Bonnie's like, I love it.
She's pretty pathetic.
She's just like, oh, Jericho, I love it so much.
She's almost like, I would like to see things.
But she
What
can.
a chump.
She can see things now.
Yeah.
So it's good. And that's like, there's no like to be continued.
No.
That's the end.
Yep. They all were happy after that.
Mm-hmm. The next episode is the World Hunger Shindig.
Oh, there's more problems they have to solve?
Yeah, like world hunger.
Oh. And people care. People expect so much of them.
And the Misfits are going to try to break it up.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of Jim's outfits in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really all about the writhing in that one video for me.
Well, and the motorcycle blowing up for no reason.
That was pretty good.
I enjoyed that. We're like, whoa. Alright, so, I don't think there's much more to say about this one.
Yeah.
I mean, I read a like a listicle about like the, absurd like gem plot lines
Uh-huh.
a while back. So I know we're like in store for some better plot lines than this. So than the unions. It is like amazing because it's like the union on the wire versus this union plotline.
Yeah.
But yeah, alright, so on the outrageousness scale, from 1 being not outrageous at all to 5 being truly, truly outrageous, where would you place this episode?
I think I've been giving them all 2s for like a while.
For like 3, yeah, for a while you have.
I kind of still think it's 2 though. There's a couple good moments, but most of it's pretty sedate here.
Yeah, I think I have to give it like a 1.5. Because it's like pretty humdrum, except for the couple of pieces that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently in the middle of reading the Gem and the Holograms comic that was recommended to me by several people. So there's a little sidebar. And I will be ready to talk about it the next time we do an episode. But I'm like about halfway through it, and it's super good. So, yeah, so you gave it a 2, I gave it like a 1.5. Is Rio even in this enough to do like a competency scale for Rio?
He's not in it very much, but when he is in it, he's being petulant and stupid.
Number of Shayna lines, 0.
Is it 0?
I believe it is 0. Aja says
1.
Aja has a conversation with Jem.
Oh, there you go. Parody.
And let's see, there should be like some sort of like Jem's petulant scale.
Mm.
She's like pretty petulant in this one, I feel like.
Well,
in the same... That's why she and Rio are so well matched. It's because they're both little whiny piss babies.
I suppose so.
I just want something like wacky to happen.
Don't make those like animalistic noises when they're being whiny. That's how you can distinguish them from the Misfits.
Mm-hmm. That's just Pizzazz that does that. Well, Pizzazz's dad
she's
is like
the worst.
is like, this is it. You are not going to get to do this anymore.
It's like, my oil fields only run so deep.
It's true. But yeah,
He doesn't say that.
No, he doesn't, but he tells her she's wasted too much money. And, I think... Yep. I think I'm just ready to see, like something like super wacky schmacky happen. And I'm hoping we're gonna get that maybe in the World Hunger Shindig or the episode after that called Adventures in China. Because I'm sure, cross my heart, that Jem and the Holograms will have a nuanced and in-depth and not in any way problematic view of their visit to China.
Yeah. Or, like, why people are hungry in the world.
Also that. Oh God, do you think they're gonna be like people in Africa are starving, and then it's gonna be like...
Oh yeah, that's totally what it's gonna be about.
Oh no. Oh God. Alright. You know, I let the word shindig, like, lure me into a false sense of hope.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, I guess that's it. Unless you have something else
No.
you wanted to add.
No.
Alright, do you have anything else, like, you're looking forward to in the future for Jem?
I'm still looking forward to the computer's relationship with her and being explained.
Because it's her mom.
Vis-a-vis motherhood.
It's her mom!
So you say.
It's true. It's definitely true.
Okay.
Alright, well, I guess that's gonna be it for now.
Okay.
Alright, that computer is your mom! This has been Allie.
Josh.
Alright, we'll see you guys later. Bye.